I'm gonna try to make this video as fast as possible. Basically, I just completed a panel discussion with 8 educators, 8 people. All of these seats were filled. And I gotta tell you, man, it was one of the most difficult things that I've ever done creatively. However, right now I feel so good about what just happened, but I'm not that good a videographer. So I'm pretty sure some of this content is gonna be a little iffy, but man, just this opportunity to be in this space and to be able to hear the stories of some amazing educators, some who are still in the profession and then some who are not in the profession anymore. However, this video is to just show you the setup and how things are how things are gonna be, and also show you some of the new equipment, gadgets that I bought. I'm not gonna tell you a lot about the gadgets because I am not an expert on the technology, but I can tell you some of these things are making the video quality really, really interesting. Hollyland wireless microphone. I got the, man, I forget what it's called. I got the M2S, which is, you know, these really small ones. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it. It's an M2S. So you can look it up if you want to. I'm actually wearing it right now. So what you hear, the audio that you hear right now is coming from this microphone here. You can barely see it. These things are awesome. It's just really good quality. That's all I'm gonna say about them. The next thing that I had was the GVM SD200B Pro. I have 2 of these. So I have one right here with a grid on it and a softbox. And then that's my lantern. I'm actually gonna use that right there instead, because this light just gives, you know, a much broader light, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, I got 2 of these. This is the same thing. This is the SD200B as well. I bought some little practical lights. To be honest with you, I don't really know how to use them. So this is the studio that I usually use. And, you know, I kind of knew the layout. So when I was setting up these chairs, you know, I wanted to make sure that it was really tight because this is a small studio, but I also wanted to make sure that I could see everyone's face and that I could, you know, move around. So one of the things that I did was I bought some extra cameras just to ensure that I could get all the angles. So I'm gonna show you some of the cameras that I got. So you already know that I have the FX30. If you didn't, go check out that's why you gotta check out the videos. That's why you gotta look at the videos. I have the FX30, and this right now has a 24 millimeter G Master 1.4. On the camera that's shooting right now, that is a A7S III, and that's pretty much like my favorite camera. That's my A cam right now. And that camera has on a Tamron 28-75 2.8. I just got that lens, pretty cool lens. I just like the versatility, and I love being able to just zoom in because half time I don't even gotta move. Before I got that lens, I was just shooting on a 28, and I had to, you know, to get close ups, I would have to get all close to people's face and stuff like that. So I ain't gotta do that no more. The other camera that I got was the A7 III, and I don't like this camera. I don't like this camera because it doesn't have the same interface as these other cameras, and I didn't realize that was going to be the case. So I'm probably going to be selling this camera off pretty soon, or trying to send it back to Amazon. Sorry, Amazon, or whoever this belongs to, I don't know. But right now this has a Sony 1.8 on there. So I used it, or let's say 1.8. This is a 50 millimeter 1.8. This is a really cheap lens, but it's really good actually. And I kept it on here so that I could get some close-up shots. So yeah, you know, that was pretty cool. So I think that's all the gear that I had gotten. You know, I wanted to make sure that everything that I did was super professional. And you know, for the most part, I think it was. You know, everyone was super cordial when they came in. They were like, man, this is a really nice studio. I'm like, yeah, this is my studio. But really, I'm just renting the studio off of Peerspace. And that brings me to my sponsor for this video, Peerspace. I'm just playing. Peerspace is not, they're not sponsoring this video. Yeah, they're not sponsoring. Actually, no one's sponsoring this video. So if you hear me say there was a sponsor, yeah, there wasn't a sponsor. So let's talk a little bit about what made this video so difficult. Number one, as soon as we get set up and I get everybody mic'd up, I'm checking the levels and making sure everything's good. I was using the Rode Wireless Go 2 transmitters. I had three transmitters that give a total of 6 microphones, and then I also had the Hollyland microphones, the MS2 or M2S. Hollyland Lark M2S. I'm saying that right. But I hooked those mics up, and the thing that I found that really annoyed me and almost made me cry was that one of the Rode Wireless Go microphones and the transmitter, both microphones did not work. I don't know why. And I'm thinking it has to do something with the receivers and the interference or something, having multiple transmitters, whatever it was, them joints did not work. And I gotta tell you right now, in my mind, I'm like, I finna give those back to Amazon because I am not happy. So what ended up happening was I ended up having to like whenever someone wasn't talking, they had to share the microphone with someone else. So they had to take it off their shirt and then, you know, give it to somebody else, which was cool. It was cool. But it was just it's not something I want to get in the habit of. This was the first panel discussion that I had, and I think it went pretty cool. I wish that I would have went ahead and gotten another videographer or someone to just focus on audio to come in, because man, it is so difficult to do all of it. I mean, I did everything from the setup to putting the chairs where they needed to go to looking at the audio, trying to monitor the audio. So I'm betting that there is gonna be some jacked up audio on here, and man, if it's too bad, I'm not even gonna be able to post a video, man, and that's gonna be really bad. People are gonna be pissed off. But I like this setup, and I think the next time that I do it, I'm gonna have someone in here to focus just on audio. Or I think what would have made the audio a little bit easier is if I would have just used some XLR microphones, some shotgun microphones, because I think that would have got the audio a lot better than what I did today. But it's just more money. It's more expensive. Like, I got to figure out what's going on with these Rode video mics or Rode Wireless Go microphones, because man, it was doing just fine when I was at home. But I guess with technology, there's always something that's going to happen. If I were to give someone a tip who wanted to do, you know, a setup like this, a panel discussion, I would say definitely pay attention to the things that could go wrong. I knew very well, and I looked this up before I actually did this. I knew very well that the transmitters could have been a problem. I just was so ready to go that I didn't put enough time into preparing for what to do and being proactive. And I think when you're doing something like this, especially solo creators, and I'm a solo creator, you have to make sure that you're paying attention to the things that could go wrong, because oftentimes they do go wrong. And if you don't plan for it, then you basically plan to fail. But you know, all in all, I think everything went good. At least I've learned a lot. You feel me? At the very least, I've learned a lot. And you know, next week I have another panel discussion that I'm gonna be filming. But this time it's gonna be with some entrepreneurs, some folks who are also creators who knows what it's like to, you know, have a family and also try to establish a business on top of their typical 9-to-5, and then on top of being a father and a husband and things like that. So I'm gonna have 5 guys come onto the panel discussion, and we're just gonna chat a little bit. I wish I could be in it, but I don't have anybody to do the camera stuff so I could get in there. But it is what it is, you know. This is a very awesome experience, and I'm hoping that you guys find value in this. Look, when I started this, I had one camera, and I was basically moving that one camera from spot to spot. And let me tell you something, this is the interesting thing. Even with all of these cameras, I ended up going back to doing the same thing that I did in the beginning. So don't feel like you have to get a bunch of gear. Don't feel like you have to get a bunch of cameras and stuff, because I went and got all of this stuff thinking that everything was gonna be smoother, but it turned out to be a lot more difficult. So if you can use one camera and you can find a way to finesse what you have, definitely. Give it a shot and don't be in a rush to spend a bunch of money on stuff, because like all of my equipment total, I probably have like $20,000, $15,000, something like that in this room of equipment that I do not know how to run or handle. And, you know, I wish that I could go back to just focusing on the one camera. But, you know, I'm trying to move up. Eventually you are going to have to invest in yourself. And that's what I tell my wife that I did. Yep, that's what I tell my wife. I don't know how she takes that. I don't know, because she does things. She thinks about stuff that I don't think about all the time. And, you know, I end up like putting my foot in my mouth and they're making it to where I don't. You feel me? I'm getting out of here. I'm tired. My back hurts from holding this gimbal. I didn't even tell you that. I was holding the gimbal the whole time. I was holding a gimbal with the A7S III on it and a Tamron 28-70. It's freaking heavy. I carried that the whole time. And I've been in the studio since 4 p.m. and it's 8 o'clock. I'm strong and, you know, it worked out, but man, my back hurts. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you get value from the content. Oh my God. Oh. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.